get everything done that I needed to get to, but that's all right. So thanks for being here. I know that you probably have a lot of other things that you'd like to be doing right now. I have kind of a different story than most, except that I do love fitness. Fitness has been in my blood. I ran track in college. I'm that person that really loves to sweat. Like, I just love dripping sweat. I love pushing myself. So naturally, when someone said to me, hey, you should try Insanity, I said, oh, heck yes, I want to try Insanity. At that particular time in my life, I had just had my second baby 6 weeks prior to that. I was frustrated because, I'm just not at my spot where I want to be. And so I knew that I probably couldn't do it full blown, but I said, I'm just going to try it. And I finished 60 days. I didn't miss a workout. And the first 3 weeks, I was on the ground crying. And not that anyone needs to hear this, gentlemen, I'm sorry, but I was like breastfeeding, and it's not easy when you're doing Insanity. Let's just put it that way. Okay. So, I didn't have any excuses. I kept getting up in the morning and I kept doing it. I said, I'm going to finish this. At that particular time, like I said, I kind of had a newborn. I was, kind of trying to figure things out. Like, I had just went from 1 kid to 2 kids. And I had left my job teaching, and I was a high school teacher. I loved what I did. I had a master's degree in education, and I decided to stay at home with my kids. After I walked home, we had a hard time having kids. And so it took us 4 years to have my first. And after I had her in my arms at 12 weeks old, I said, I can't go back to teaching. This is ridiculous. I got to stay at home. I knew very, very much that I was taking a $65,000 pay cut with I was one of the highest paid school districts in the state of Oregon. It was an amazing job. I was a coach for track. I was a head coach for a while, and I was getting paid really well, but I also knew that I wanted to stay at home with my kids. That being said, I felt a part of me after my second, sorry, oh my gosh. Thank you. After my second baby, I felt like I don't know how to explain it, except that I love staying at home, but I felt like part of me was missing the teaching side, that I got outside the house, that I was around other adults, working with them, the health aspect of it, really helping, I felt, kids make good choices, really building relationships with people. I felt like that was missing, and my passion was kind of fizzled, and I just felt like I was missing a part of myself. So when a friend said to me, a random friend, you should try Insanity, I did. She then said to me, well, you got pretty good results. I lost 10 pounds and 10 inches. I toned up, and I was in, really good shape. You know what I'm thinking now? Sorry, I've been doing this for 4 years. I didn't start doing Insanity until, my baby was 6 months. I didn't mean to say 6 weeks. But I still was breastfeeding. That didn't change. And I lost 10 pounds and 10 inches. And that was a big thing for me because I was stuck kind of at that weight. And I felt like I toned up, and I was doing really well. So anyhow, I was posting about fitness. Anyhow, I posted about it. You know how it goes. I started having people ask me what I'm doing. My friend said, you should sign up as a coach. I thought about it. I didn't really know what it was. I point blank told her, I will never take your shake that you're drinking. I don't want to drink Shakeology. I never drank it for 9 months as a coach. I didn't even want to drink it. I just kept talking to people about fitness because that's what I was doing. And that's kind of how my story started, Joe. Like, that's really what I did. I made Success Club just simply because I was passionate about fitness. Like, I would talk about it. I would share it. I was sharing my journey. I was talking about what I was doing. I was getting stronger. But as for Shakeology, if you were to scroll 4 years ago, I never lied about it. I never said I was doing it. I talked to people behind the scenes about it. Hey, we have this shake if you want to try it. But I never was super passionate about it. I didn't try it until my husband and I sat down. We're like, we probably should try that Shakeology. Because if I want to build the business, yeah. So that's kind of how I got into it.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for giving us, the background there. I think a lot of people can kind of relate to where you're at. You had a good job. You had all these things going on. You have kids. Life changes, and you course correct as you go, and you get passionate about the programs, obviously, when you see results. So yeah. That's great. One of the things also that I think is really, definitely a strong suit for you is just team culture and creating levels of duplication. So talk to us about, how did you do that? Because in the end, right, what we're pushing for is volume. Is, as a coach, you want volume so you can make money, right? So you can help more people. So I think that's a big, a large crux in getting there, so creating that culture and kind of creating these layers of duplication. Talk to us about kind of your systems there.
Right. Well, I feel like for me, and I think that everyone should know this, that you are the only one that's responsible for your business, not your upline, not people way far up, not like, oh, what are they going to do for me? And I had this attitude in the very beginning that I was in this, and it wasn't that my team was bad. And I want to make that very clear. Like, I signed up with a friend. Okay. So she was in another group that we were on Facebook, and she was in the business. And it just was that the higher layers up, duplication was, I didn't know what was going on. There was nothing that was ever told to me. These are the trainings that start the first of the month. Here's what you can do to get your teams in here. And when I got into this page, I didn't know what was going on. Like, I got thrown into 5 different groups. I had no idea what was going on. So I just decided when I became actually want to build this business. So I started October 2011. But I would say that I started really working the business about 9 months later, when I decided that I wanted to be an all-in business builder. And that's when I said, and honestly, I'm going to be honest with you, like, I struggled. I was at Emerald. I went from Diamond to Emerald 8 times, like back and forth. And it wasn't really until last year when, ironically, I woke up on January 1st and on 2014, and I was like, my baby's going to be born. My 3rd baby is going to be born in like 3 weeks. I'm going to prove to myself that I can do different things this year. And it really was that year, last year, of really heart and hustle, of putting my head down and getting to work and knowing that I'm no different than anyone else. I just have to believe in myself. And so and then I gathered the coaches that I called the runners on my team. You're going to have runners, you're going to have joggers, you're going to have walkers. They're all important. Don't neglect any of them. Don't just talk to the runners and leave the walkers behind. Every one of them wants to feel important and validated. It's just that I reached out to the runners and I said, here's what I want for this team. I want to be an elite team. You are a leader on this team. I can't do this without you. I want to go. And I went from Diamond to 5-star in 1 year while I had a baby. Okay. So I know that you can do it if you put your head down and get to work and you talk to people and you say to them, like, I make everyone on my team feel like that they're important. I know because they are to me. I ask them all the time how they are. I ask them all the time, like, I don't always lead with the business. Like, and that to me, I wanted to feel like my team, I wanted to feel part of a team that, like, whether I added a success club point or whether I added anything, like, they valued me. And so I try to teach that within layers. So we celebrate and recognize everything. We celebrate, yes, Success Club, and yes, the leadership ladder, and yes, the top 10 volume. But that's not all I celebrate. When a coach reaches out and does an awesome vulnerable post, I celebrate that. When a coach, talks to someone for the first time and was really scared, I celebrate that. And so I do something. I think I got it from someone else. So this is not my idea anyway. By the way, you're gonna take things from everyone in this business, and you're just gonna create it, and then that's gonna be your culture of your team. Is taking little pieces and then creating your culture. But I have something that I do called Feel Good Friday, which is on Friday. We post the cool things that are happening on our team. And people, if you post, you have to tag someone else. And so when they get tagged, if they get tagged, they have to. So if you get tagged, you have to pay it forward. So it's really just a complete thread of people just saying, I'm so proud of this person. I'm so proud of this person. And that's what makes people feel important. Okay. I'm always doing team videos all the time. I'm sharing my vulnerabilities. I'm sharing my struggles. And that took a really long time. The last year I decided, well, if they're going to like me, they're going to like all of me. They're going to like my struggles. They're going to like my failures. They're going to like who I am, like everything. But I'm also going to tell you that I shared that, but I shared, everything from, like the good, the bad, but I also shared how I was growing. I showed them that I was becoming a better leader by doing personal development. So the only thing that I really changed, I did wake up on January 1st and said, I want to change, but you can't just wake up one day and say, I want to change. You have to put in the work. So I went from doing 0 personal development to over 2 hours a day. And I'm not kidding you. And in fact, I just made a video on my YouTube channel about the 5 ways I added personal development into my life. My YouTube channel is Insane Fit Kiana. I have every single one of my trainings public. In fact, someone just asked me a question. Was it Brian? What kind of team videos? Okay, so like, I just pick a topic that I feel my team like. So yesterday I just made a short video about like how I'm launching Hammer and Chisel, how you can talk about it without being salesy, like what are some things that are working for me, just different things that are working for me. And I used to feel like was a big aha moment for me as a leader is that I think that I just expected people to know things sometimes and they don't. So like they don't understand sometimes. And so I share, you never can overshare. I promise you that. And sometimes I even say like, here's a cool video I watched on YouTube. This is for people that are struggling with this. And then I just share all the time. I'm constantly sharing other people's stuff. I used to also think I had to remake every video. Like I'd find a really cool video and then I'd be like, oh, they need to hear it from me. I'm their leader. No. Just share everything. There's cool coaches that have been out there for years that are doing this a great thing. So if you think someone on your team is struggling with time management, make an effort to go to YouTube and help them find a video about time management. Because I told Joe, he said, what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? I told him, my strength is not organization. I'll be honest with you, but my strength is passion and I can ignite a team. I'm very motivational when it comes to I'm your biggest cheerleader. I can walk coaches off the ledge every single day. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I can get coaches to believe in themselves. And that's what this business is about, is getting coaches to believe in themselves before they believe in themselves, is constantly reiterating and just telling them that, you know, what they're doing, like, let's focus on what you're doing. Let's look at what's not working. Let's look at what's working. What are your strengths? The other thing, hold on, baby. The other thing I did is I started asking people to take leadership roles in my team. And so I have coaches that, hold on guys. I have coaches that make different videos. Like I'll just say, hey, you're really good at time management. Like I just asked the girl this, you work full time. Like you are really good at Power Hour. Like what exactly are you doing on the Power Hour? Can you make a video? And she did for my team. All you does is take the ask, because I don't work full-time outside the home when I started Beachbody. I decided to stay at home, then become a full-time Beachbody coach. Does that make sense? So that's not my strength.
I think that, you know, what you just said there is so crucial in multiple different ways. And I'm sorry to interject here, but I think that it's so phenomenal because you're doing multiple things and proving that you're a true leader. Because one, a leader doesn't try and do everything themselves, right?
That's true.
You know, like you can't, there's not enough time. You know what I mean? Carl Deichler doesn't do everything here in the company. You know what I mean? He has amazing ideas and he's a true leader. But, you know, you got to employ other people to, you know, you got to delegate. And that develops their leadership skills and it helps other people in ways that, you know, you may not be able to do. So that's phenomenal.
I think that so I used to get caught up like on, oh, what should I be posting every day in my team page? I mean, what you're probably thinking, I've been there before, and most coaches have been there before, but just don't overthink it. Just post what you think, what did you need today to keep you going, and start sharing that. As you get into the business, if you've been in the business longer, like I've been 4 years into the business, I needed trainings for my team that went layers deep. I mean, you're talking 5, 6, 7 layers deep. So now I have duplicatable systems. I just created a 10-day Like a Boss training group and a 10-day social media boot camp. And you guys, those are all on YouTube. I'm not saying that they're your thing. I'm not even saying they're the most amazing things in the world, but I promise you that's how you're going to develop leaders on your team and volume going layers deep, because you're going to inevitably get coaches that sign coaches as you build your team, and maybe they don't know how to do a GSR. Maybe they've never been taught. Maybe something has been broken in the system. So my team knows that every Monday of every single month, I start a new Like a Boss 2-week training. They know that every third Monday of every month, I start a new social media boot camp. They know that I'm working on, and I'm very close, almost done, I'm really excited, that I'm working on a pinned post in my team page. So when a new coach is added to our team page, they just tag them, and it gives them the exact steps they need to do in the next 48 hours to get on track to be ready for the Like a Boss training. And so it's not that I'm doing these most amazing things and I'm like, that's what you need to understand. and this is what was a big aha moment for me, is that I fail all the time, I struggle all the time, but I just don't quit. I just keep trying new ideas. I've tried push groups, I've tried I always try to, like I said, I think my passion and I think why I've been successful is because I do have passion and purpose. I'm not the most organized, but I do come up with new ideas. So I try to, hey guys, I feel our team is struggling with popping emeralds. I'm going to do a 5-day emerald group. Who wants to be in it? Or, hey guys, I want to do a 10-day focus on personal development group. Or I'm going to do a 10-day push yourself to post videos on your like page. So I'm doing groups, things all the time that are asking more people to join to feel part of the team. And because I do that, different strengths come out. And so people are like, hey, I'm good at that. She's not just doing A. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not just doing that. So that's how I've kind of built the culture. And I always try to focus. I look at my downline, deep in my downline, and if I see someone producing lots of volume or they're doing great things, or I ask my leaders, is there someone on your team that I can shout out today? Because sometimes I don't know who they are, but they feel amazing when I shout them out, just because they feel like it's coming from the top. Does that make sense? Even though I don't feel like our team is like this, they know that we're even. I feel like everyone on my team is are amazing leaders, and they know that, and I treat them like that. I treat them that they're fully capable to run a very successful business from the very beginning. And so I don't want to be a top-down leader. I want to be a leader that shares value with them and that brings out the leadership in them because they believe in themselves. And I don't think that that's just you telling people all the time what to do.
So question on that. You know, I think a lot of times what people struggle with is kind of letting go. Did you struggle with that?
Yes.
How did you overcome it? You know, where did you start?
I just said to my leaders, I just said, hey, where do you think your strengths are? Where do you think I need help? Like, where do you think that I'm just gonna be honest with you, even sometimes when I felt like I can do this, I can put it all together, I can do all these trainings, like, I don't want to do all the trainings. I want my team to be involved. And so I just said to them, could you make a video about this for this training? Or where do you think that you could help out with the team? And so, like, for example, a girl in my downline, she's my personally sponsored coach. But like, she's amazing with computers, like amazing. So I literally hired her to do all my graphics, because I was like, and she's like, this is so fun. This is amazing. Like, it would take me 5 hours to do one thing on PicMonkey, and she is doing it and she loves it. And I shout her out on the team. Like, Jessica is doing amazing things for our team. She's creating these amazing handouts and all this different stuff. Yes, it's Insane Fit Kiana. Sorry, is my, and I have them in playlists. So like my last 10-day, like a boss boot camp are in playlist. And then I have another, I'm switching over from doing a 30-day training, you guys, like a 30-day Coach Basics, to doing just a 10-day like a boss training. And then anyone that wants to move from that can go to the social media boot camp. I just felt like 30 days was a little bit too long. It eventually, I mean, if you add both groups up, they're 30 days, but I only go Monday through Friday, and I give them weekends off because I don't, I'm just going to be honest with you, I don't work my business much on the weekends, and I don't want my team to feel so overwhelmed that they have to work this business 7 days a week. It's all about balance, and as I've gone in longer into the business, that's something that I'm trying to work on. So I do Monday through Friday. There is an action step. They can choose to do it. I don't chase. They tag me when they're done. That way I can support them, and I work, and I really, it just kind of shows you who your heavy hitters are, and then I just kind of work more heavily with them, you know. And I'm always here. They know. Everyone knows I'm here for them to talk to. But I have decided that I have to spend my time wisely, and that's something that has changed, Joe, is that as my team gets bigger and bigger and bigger, I've had coaches that do struggle in the business and aren't talking to people, and then when I say to them, where's your business activity tracker, they don't have it. And so then I say, well, I'm not going to get on the phone with you unless you have it. So can you please, you know, like, it's up to you to do that. And that to me shows that they're not valuing my time and they're not valuing their business. So I had to make some big steps. And if you know me, that's very hard for my personality, because I'm a very emotional, like, they're not doing it. Why are they not doing it? They don't like me as a coach. Like, what's going on? So I had to really make some different changes in the last year for my family and my family's time.
You know, it's funny, if you think, you know, your coach career as a track coach, you might be able to speak to this as well, but when I think about my sports background in high school and things, I think, you know, I didn't always think that my coach was the nicest with me. It's not necessarily, I'm not necessarily saying you should be mean, but sometimes to get the results you're looking for, you know, you have to make decisions like that.
Yeah.
So I think that's a wonderful example of you know, leadership for sure. Great. So let's see here. Moving on, as far as like, I've got some other questions on your YouTube channel. Like, I'm a huge YouTube proponent. I think if you look at most of the top coaches in the company, they all have quite large YouTube channels and things like that. So I always tell my coaches, look, this is a huge key in duplication. You don't have to continue doing the work over and over and over again. I know YouTube's definitely something that's a strength for you too. So can you talk to us about kind of how that's helped you and maybe suggestions you'd have from that?
Right. So the first thing I started with is if I kept getting repetitive questions, I just started to make a video. So if someone said, well, how do I sign up a coach? I was like, oh my gosh, if I get that question again, I'm going to freak out. And so I just made a video about it, and I just showed my team. And then I had no clue what I was doing. I look at some of my videos in the beginning and I'm like, oh Lord, these are like, but my team appreciated it and they liked it. And then what happens is they like it because then they can share that with their coaches if they don't feel comfortable. And so it becomes a duplication. Oh, my coach has all of these trainings, or my coach has a video about that. Let me pull that for you. Or my coach has that. And so I just started kind of doing that, and that became like, you know, 5 and 10 and 20 videos. And I wasn't super comfortable at first. And so I did what kind of pushed me over the edge and pushed my team over the edge was I did a let's get comfortable putting our face on video push. And we did 10 days of, I asked my team to do 5-minute videos or less on different topics for their team, and or just putting themselves on their like page. And that really got my team a lot more comfortable on video. I'm just going to tell you, if you don't put your face behind the screen, no one's going to really get to know you. So your leaders need to see you that way. Your coaches need to see you behind the screen. If you're not making videos, I mean, I have a coach that is qualified for elite right now, 5-star, like she's 5-star in her elite qualification. And oh my Lord, if you would have told me that I told her, you need to start making videos. And she's like, I can't do it. Nope. And I'm like, now she has like her own trainings and she's doing all these different things. And it's like amazing to see, and it's not going to kill you. Okay. You may stumble. You may be like, I don't like the way I sound on video. Well, get over it. Who cares? Like, just do your best. My team knows I have full on, like some people can do everything in their head and memory and they cut it and make it all nice and do all these different, no, I don't do that. I literally say this, I shoot, I point, I post it on YouTube. I don't listen to it. So I learned that from Scotty Hobbs. He said you spend way too much time trying to make videos perfect. And so I was like, well, he seems to be doing pretty good. He's like in the Millionaire Club or something. So I was like, I'm going to do that. And so I just point, shoot, and offer that to them. And if they, you know, those that want to learn are going to listen to all the different videos anyhow, right? And so that's kind of how I started, Joe's. I started doing, if anyone asked me a question and I thought, okay, that's been asked 3 or 4 times, our team needs clarification about that. If I felt like posts in my team page were kept getting asked, or sometimes they were struggling with certain things, I would make sure I did a video about that. And then I did these push groups, which I felt, see, here's the thing is the push groups didn't necessarily make my coaches sign a bunch of coaches and do all these things and build incredible amounts of volume. But what it did is it built confidence, which leads to lots of volume. And so my volume has increased a lot in the last like year or 2 because I've working layers deep within my downline. And when you become a 2-star coach, you should know that you can open a second business center. And so I put my second business center underneath my husband's weak leg. And so everything in the last year has gone through my husband's business center. Does that make sense? So when I sign a coach, I'm not only getting volume through my husband's account, okay? It's filtering in my second business center first, that's my volume, then it's going through my husband's business center, and then it's going through my first business center. So I'm essentially getting paid 3 times for one customer. So I sign a customer for $50, I get a challenge pack. You're getting a lot more money and volume versus just $40. Does that make sense? Because it's filtering up. So if you're not at 2-star yet, or if you're not at that point yet, when you get to that point, please ask someone to help you or just for advice, because I know coaches that they're like, oh, it looks pretty. I'll just put the second business center on this side over here. And they're losing thousands of dollars a week because it's not filtering through their husbands or their significant others or their whatever, whoever's business center that you run. Someone asked me how many hours I work a week. That is something that's changed. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I'm a hard worker. I think that I sometimes can get caught up in hours, but I can't like work all day long. My daughter's sitting on my lap right now. So that I work a lot of times with her on my lap. And I work a lot of times with that situation, but I do about 20 to 25 hours a week is what I do. I work in the morning before my kids get up for school. I have a really heavy power hour during nap time, and make most of my videos during nap time because I don't want my kid, I feel like I have to be a little bit more professional even though they're in some of my videos. And then I work after my kids go to bed until about 9 o'clock. So that's where my hours are.
Fantastic. I think it's cool, you know what I mean? Because like you said earlier, I think we all understand the situation, you know what I mean, with the kids and everything. Makes it real. You said something earlier that really caught my eye, and I don't want to let it slip because we have a lot of people here who are at the Diamond 1-star level right now on this call. You said that you were at Diamond and 1-star for Diamond for a while, and you made the decision January 1st, I think you said.
Mm-hmm.
Make the difference, right?
Yeah, I was tired of making excuses. I was telling myself that if I only would, if I only was on this, if I only had these trainings, or if I only did this, or, oh my gosh, like what's wrong with me, yada, yada, yada. I just was making excuses. I had to look myself in the mirror and put my big girl panties on and be like, if you want to do this, you may not get that much sleep. You guys, okay, stop. Sorry. Okay, I don't want it. There you go. Sorry. My team will tell you that like I don't get a ton of sleep because I've sacrificed my sleep to build my team because I'm not going to sacrifice my time with my kids. So that's something that I have chosen, and probably for 4 years I've averaged 5 to 6 hours of sleep a night. Is that something that I'm telling people to do? No. But do you want to build a 6-figure business and do you want to be successful? Sometimes you have to do things you don't want to do. Am I saying that's the only way you can build a business? No. And studies show that you may not even live longer with with lack of sleep. So it really is a balance. I'm just now getting to the point where it's like, okay, I have these systems in place. It's duplicatable. You cannot build a business overnight. Like you have to be here a year from now. And you have to know that what you're doing, that right now, you may not see the fruits of your labor until later on in the years. And so I truly believe that you have to pick the sacrifices that are worth it to you, because you're going to sacrifice some things in this business if you want to be successful, and do that. Like I said, I built my business to 5-star in 1 year when I had a child. She was up every 2 hours. Anyone would have been fine with me saying, I don't want to build this business anymore. Like I have a third, I'm just going to take a step back, but I wanted to prove to myself during the hard times of my life that I wasn't going to make an excuse yet again. So that's just me. I literally went from 0 personal development to 2 hours a day. And my very last video that I uploaded on YouTube, I believe, and it's one of the last 2, it's about the 5 ways that I have added personal development into my life, from listening to podcasts when cooking dinner, to buying a waterproof, speaker, and listening to podcasts in the shower, to doing it when I call the 4 Ds, which is like dishes, okay, your duties, and just the different things in your life that you can be mindless, about, that you don't have to really think about, but you can just make sure you're growing your mind. Because here's the point. Here, I'm going to tell you right now, you're either choosing to grow or you're choosing to slow every second of the day. So you have to choose to either make a point to grow, or choose to slow down, or just remain the same. And I knew that I didn't want to remain the same. I was tired of being tired. I kept telling myself, oh, Diamond, it's good I made Diamond, that's fine. But I obviously didn't I was frustrated and I wasn't happy, so I had to change what I was doing to make myself a little happier.
That's phenomenal. So basically what I'm hearing here, is you committed, you made it happen. Folks, January 1st is coming around the corner. It's a perfect time for you to commit as well. I think if you look at what Kiana has done, she's also made some really good decision on how she's grown. She didn't, you know, take the world on and put it on her shoulders herself, but she worked with her team and she engaged them. She delegated. She created systems that are duplicatable. I think Kiana is just a shining example of how, you know, you can do those things and grow. But did it take work? Yeah. Right? She had to totally bust her hump to get there. You know what I mean? So it's phenomenal for sure.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
I don't want you to ever think that I don't know if anyone says this, but I'm just telling you, I've wanted to quit many times in my life. Like I've been frustrated with this business. I've been pissed off at things. I felt that people, like I would invest all this time into people and then they would not only quit, they would unfriend me. Okay. I've had lots of things happen in this business where a lot of people would have quit. It's not that I don't have the same things happen. I just choose to not focus on those things. And I think that it's really important to understand that if you want something more than, you know, like if you wake up in the morning with a passion in your belly and this desire to focus on where you want to go and where you're headed, it's going to be a lot better than if you focus on all the things that are happening wrong. Because we choose what we focus on daily. And so I would never tell a brand new coach that this is easy. Okay. This is not an easy business. It's simple when you get the duplication down in process, but it is not easy. You have to have a tough mind and you have to have a tough heart sometimes. And that tough mind comes from personal development, which is the foundation that I tell my team all the time, that we are going to be known as a rock solid mind, like a personal development warriors, because that's what helps you grow in this business. And if you don't create that on your team, you're going to attract a bunch of weak-minded people, and you don't want to do that. You want to attract people that are willing to focus on themselves. But I've always been honest with my team, and I want to be honest with you guys that I don't have all the answers. I failed many times in my life. I've struggled many times in my life. And if you follow me on my like page, you know that ever since I had a stillborn, my very first baby, I've struggled a lot with anxiety. And I really have to, the thing about this business that it's done is it's allowed me to have positive coping skills. And so when I do struggle and when I do have anxiety, or when I do have these issues, I know how to cope, which is bust out some personal development and change my mindset. And so that's what's really cool about this business, because it helps you in every aspect of your life. And so I don't want you to think that I'm here to say, you need to sleep 4 hours and you need to, that's what we all need to do, is just sleep 4 hours. No, because yes, but I'm not going to tell you that I didn't bust my butt. There are some weeks that I worked 60, 70 hours a week, but I also don't want to burn out. And so I teach my team that whatever you're doing now has to be duplicatable for long term. You cannot work 80 hours a week, neglect your family, and think you're going to be happier in the long run. I've seen many coaches burn out, and they're very unhappy because they've made choices in their life where their priorities don't align. So just make sure that your priorities align. I could easily work over 25 hours a week, but I don't want to, because I want to be with my kids. So come 2:14, like my kids come home from the bus stop, I don't work until they go to bed. I might post a picture of myself. I might put something on the internet, but I'm not checking messages and responding to people. Does that make sense? And so I just hope that you can see that it's a lot of work. It's hard. There's a lot of heart that goes into it, a lot of hustle. But if I can do it, you can do it. I'm no different than you. I just chose to believe in myself finally last year. That's really their difference, is I just chose to say, enough's enough. I'm tired of this crap, Kiana. Get your head down and get to work. I was attracting people that I wanted to spend my time with and business with. I just needed to become a better leader for them and for myself. And that's honestly all that I changed. Good deal.
Well, we're almost out of time here. Kiana, amazing. I love everything that you've shared here, because I think everybody knows, that feeling of, hey, this coach canceled, or I put all this work into this and they don't want as much as I do. It's nice to know that everybody kind of goes through those as well. Hey, thanks for responding. I was just going to ask you if it's Facebook or what.
I've built 99% of my business on Facebook. My Instagram account, it's never really taken off. I do 99% of my business now off my like page.
Do you do any on YouTube at all, like recruiting or anything like that?
I've gotten coaches from YouTube. Yeah, they watch my videos and they're like, you seem like you have some trainings. I want to, yeah. And I wouldn't say a ton, but that, it'd be, you just have to ask people where they find you. Sometimes you think it's Facebook, but it's from YouTube video that link to Facebook. You know what I mean? So
for sure. Well, Kiana, thank you so much for coming on today and presenting for us. You really added a ton of value. I did record this, so look for it on the Champions page. I'll be posting it up later today. Thank you so much for joining, everybody. Kiana, again, thank you so much. And everybody.
Yeah, thank you guys for taking the time.
Yep.
Have a good day.
Have a good one, everyone. Bye.